to everybody tonight. Tonight we're going to be talking about accelerated healing, and we've got quite a few kind of different avenues that we're going to go down with this topic tonight to kind of encompass all things. So I'm going to begin the evening, first of all, by letting everybody know, as usual, this is a co-creative experience. So what happens is, it's the interaction of questions and the interaction of discussion is as vital a part as the presentation, because it tailors the presentation to what you need. And because it's co-creative, and of course we're working with Source, because we're working with accessing truth for truth, love, and healing, everything that comes through for me tonight is a message from Source. It's not an opinion, it's not something I've read, it's coming through. I'm taking the time to get the message through and to deliver it in an appropriate way. So your need to receive that as voiced in your questions is very vital to our process. As well, everything that comes through when I speak during the night, during the evening, is already, because of course, it's known what we all need. So it already is answering questions that people will have had. So our whole evening is not random in terms of what subjects we cover. They all will speak to some part of something people need to know, whether they know that on a conscious level yet, or whether it's a subconscious level. So we're going to be doing that all through the evening. It's centering it in having an understanding that we're pulling through messages that we need that access true healing. So that's what the evening is about. The other piece of this, of course, is because we're accessing that, we're pulling through healing energy, and so each talk that we have is like, if you book a session and come to have a session, you're pulling through as many vibes. We might not be dealing it directly with what's happening for you, but we're all receiving healing during this time of the evening, so it's a beautiful way as well to spend 2 hours together in co-creation and in healing. So I'm going to deviate from the norm in this presentation, and I'm going to actually go over the physical nutrition part of healing. Normally I kind of come to that towards the end, but today we're going to start with it. And I'm presuming, of course, that there's a reason for that, because that's the message I just received. Accelerated healing is the topic tonight. And we can cover this from a lot of different points of view. But my work is mostly to do with the new consciousness that's unfolding. And so I need to clarify that accelerated healing really is about how are we moving into the next phase of our evolution, because we are capable of doing it at an extremely rapid rate, as rapid as we can get our head around it. We're the slow part, right? And so we can work and work and work on healing and on drawing healing energy in and on taking on what we need, and all we're doing is striving to match our soul's desire, which is to move forward into the new consciousness and to be what we really are here to be, without separation from parts of self, and moving into that fullness of the energy state of love, which is our true state. So it's about bridging from where we are with physical, emotional, mental, spiritual limitations, wherever they might be. We're all very uneven in our dualities or in our evolutionary pattern right now, and then moving into where we need to be, and that looks different for all of us. So during the talk tonight, we're going to cover all things. We're going to cover physical healing, we're going to cover spiritual healing, we're going to cover mental and emotional healing, like belief systems and things. We're going to cover all these things in a very general way, understanding that each person in this room is distinct, unique, and no two alike. So I'm not saying, oh, if you have such and such, it's a liver issue, or what. I can't make those kinds of generalities, because, quite frankly, in thousands and thousands of sessions I've done, every time somebody has sat in front of me with a diagnosed label that I've already seen 48 people for, not one of those cases looked the same. So we're not going to be talking about specific rules that are strict to everybody, but we're going to cover some generalities that take us all in. And within that framework, it's sort of like the foundation from which then to begin to build our own individual blueprint of how we are healing as fast as we can, as we move forward and follow what's happening in the whole collective consciousness as we're evolving forward. So it's a little bit of a juggling act I'm doing, and when we use personal examples, it's going to be to illustrate a point. And we all respond very well to sort of like big concepts when we take them and put them in a story form. So as we share stories and those types of things, it will be sort of to illustrate. a bigger concept behind that. And I think we all find that to be both a useful and an entertaining tool. So starting tonight with nutrition. Accelerated healing for the new consciousness is exactly what we talk about in new consciousness. It's new consciousness. It's a new way of thinking. And so it involves taking care of the organ of thought and the body that transports it around and does all the things that it's supposed to be doing. Our amazing bodies are actually the microchip for a huge part, for the hugeness that we are, which is this massive, infinite, eternal soul that we're trying to carry out the activity of in that physical dimension. So our bodies, nothing in them is random. Everything in them plays a role. Everything within it has tremendous value and tremendous ability. And when our whole body is working to its maximum, we simply are able to filter through what we need to do in this world, right? And that becomes more clear the more we work with our matter and having it heal to understand what we are. So the new consciousness is expanded consciousness. It's a way of thinking that encompasses more of what we are. And in order to do that, we need to, of course, address the needs of the physical body. Pardon me, I'm going to slip off my shoes. When I work with people who are having actual physical issues where we need to address nutritive needs of their body, what I am finding more and more is that I am working with people who come to me at the beginning for what seems like a physical issue, perhaps. And as we get talking about different things, people from an unexpected avenues start talking to me about changes in the world, changes in the way they're thinking, changes of what they think is happening. In other words, we're all plugged into something going on in this energetic realm of evolution, and how we word it might be different than how other people word it. So every session I'm coming to, it doesn't matter to me if the person has had a car accident or if they're just there to talk about, I want to get rid of some trauma or I want to know something about my spiritual journey. Everybody has this within them. And each person that I'm working with, if I start out working with somebody that's had a car accident and wants physical healing, we end up going also into the whole spiritual realm of things. And we're going with a willing person leading the way, the person that has come for the sessions leading the way to it. So all of us are aware on different levels and we use different language to access what's happening. But what it means on a physical level is that we have a body that's trying to do a multitude of things. It's trying to heal the things that it's dealing with as it ricochets around here in the world doing whatever, driving, running and jumping, doing all kinds of things. And it's also trying to evolve into the next consciousness. So we have this world we have this body. We have a body that is straddling two things. It's straddling the world as it is while it's trying to move forward into the world that is becoming. And we have to meet all of those needs. Where we fail to meet those needs is where we see disruptions to health. Right? We're capable of a lot of growth and a lot of forward evolution and a lot of healing, a lot more than we realize. Last talk, when we were talking about past lives, a beautiful saying came through that was about getting people to think about themselves in a different way. So much of the time we focus on ourselves as, oh, I'm having this illness, or I'm having this symptom, or I'm having this dysfunction. But what we actually are bodies that are striving to heal. Our ability to heal is innate. At all times, our body is trying to heal. That's all our body knows how to do, is heal. If you cut yourself, it doesn't just stay open, your body doesn't go, I'm cut, and stays like that. It starts knitting itself together quite miraculously, right? So we are innate healing machines. That's what we're designed to do. My favorite saying is to say, God, don't make junk. We're all stuff that works really, really, really well. And where we fail to feed into that process is where we will see disruption. We are beings in a state of attempting to attain healing. When we can't attain healing, that's when we exhibit a symptom that we call illness. Did you have questions?
Are we ever whole? Like, are we always striving to heal? Are we ever just whole?
The new consciousness is about wholeness. So we have been striving to heal and become whole through all of our evolution to date. but the new consciousness is about the attainment of wholeness, which we are not yet at, but this is the lifetime in which we are going to achieve that. Or this is the time frame in which we are going to achieve that. So yes, we will be, but we haven't been yet. That's interesting. That makes a whole bunch of messages flying through. So I'm going to hang on to that for a minute. And I'm going to come back to nutrition, asking that question again if I forget. You'll get maybe an intuitive messages, right? I ask Christine again. So the whole concept is that anytime we have a symptom, it is actually a sign of a body that does not have what it needs to do what it is trying to do, which is heal. Right? So we always want to meet our body's needs at where our body is at, because that's what love does. And the universe is founded on love, or the creative source is love, and we are love. So when we give our bodies what they truly need, in adequate amounts that it can achieve what it's trying to achieve, we start to see an amazing thing. We start to see not only the elimination of physical symptomology, but we also start to see expanded consciousness growth, new understandings, new ways of living. In other words, new ways of thinking. And that takes us to that wonderful Einstein saying, which I think I've used three times already, is you can't solve a problem by remaining in the form of thought that created it, right? We have to have a new way of thinking in order to evolve out of where we are at into something new. And again, we're talking about this amazing machine, I guess we would say, but not really. We're not in that context. This amazing microchip that brings through all the things that our soul wants us to do.